Welcome to our show. The next hour brings entertainment and information to those of you who are young at heart. Here are your hosts, Lynn Peterson and Al Jones.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart.
Welcome to Young at Heart. I'm Lynn Peterson along with
Al Jones.
How are you, Al?
I'm doing fine now that
Great.
You're back. I missed you.
I missed you too.
I was in tears almost because you weren't here.
But that's one way to get you to talk a little bit more.
Yes.
You know, I figured I got to let him steal the show because I always feel like I'm over talking. But that's a girl thing, I think.
I'll let you know when you are.
Okay.
I'll say, hey.
Let me say something.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Well, it's good to be back. I don't like being down and out. I don't think anybody does.
No.
The only good thing about it was I read 3 good books.
All
That's
right.
how bored I was. Couldn't do anything else.
Shame on you.
We got a great show today.
Yes, we do. And I mentioned you're wondering why I have this uniform on.
Yes, I was going to ask you.
Quickly, you were going to answer me? Okay,
gonna ask
quickly, I have the uniform on because we want more Marines to join the Marine Corps League.
Oh.
Because, and also, you don't have to be a Marine or in the service to, be associate.
Right.
Associates, they help us and volunteer and all that kind of good thing, which is great.
Absolutely.
So I have this, and if anybody wants to join the Marine Corps, just call 537. That's 537-6374. 537-6374. Richard Horry will give you further information.
Now, is that all the different, what do you call it? Ranks? Not ranks, but is it just the Marine Corps that's down in numbers, or is the same thing?
Well, the Marine Corps League, you have the DAV and you have the American Legion and all that. But now I'm just promoting the, Marine Corps League because we need more volunteers and help.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
So give that phone number one more try and
okay,
in your regular voice.
Yeah, 537-6374. That's my regular voice. That's right. Yes.
I keep forgetting which is the real Al Jones. There's so many of them. You sure you're not a Gemini?
No, Pisces.
Well. Going back to what we were talking about, our great show, but just to let you know that we are celebrating 10 years of the Valley Focus, which is the little magazine here that we put out here at Channel 41. Mm-hmm. And it's going to a different size, and it's going to be mailed out now to people at their homes. So that's kind of exciting. Woman to Woman, Empowering Women's Conference is going to be held here in Pahrump, and that's January 22nd. From 9 to 11, and that'll be at the Pahrump Nuggets, so you could call them for more information, I'm sure. And one of the speakers is Catherine Cortez Master, who is our Nevada Attorney General. And so that should be quite interesting. So for more information, you can call 702-782-4096, and that's Woman to Woman Empowering Women's Conference. We don't get that kind of conferences here a lot, so it would be very interesting.
No.
There are some quotes to live by that Pat thought that we should say, and I thought these two were kind of interesting since both of us have had our own businesses before. One is, to build wealth today, you must be in your own business. That was from J. Paul Getty. Never understood that one because you got employees to pay. And then the other one is, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals.
That's heavy.
That is really heavy. And that was from Jim Rohn. Do you know Jim Rohn?
I don't know.
He's my neighbor down the street. He just made that up. It's like, yeah, right. No, it makes sense, though, applying all your basic fundamentals that you have and consistently applying them if you want to be successful.
That's right.
Or give it a good shot, because that's what we're doing.
That's true.
Absolutely. So you're going to be talking to the warden from the detention center, Al, today?
That's right.
Yep, Joe Pont.
I'm scared.
Why? Did you do something wrong that he might put you in handcuffs and take you away?
I'm not sure.
We also have Angela from Lee Funeral Home. I almost said mortuary. I mean, I think that's a little different from funeral home. I don't know. We'll be talking about some pre-needs before the actual event occurs.
Good idea. for your departure from here.
It's a very serious and it's a sad subject,
Right.
but you can have humor in it.
Right.
Plus, we do have Scotty here, and she's going to be a Scottish English tea.
Tea.
Now, is that an oxymoron, a Scottish English tea?
No, I mean,
Oh.
just both.
Oh, it's just totally Scottish. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about the differences between a Scottish and an English tea. There you
Right.
go. And then we have the Yoga Center here back to show us some moves and grooves and all that good stuff. So we'll be back after these commercial messages. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the show, folks. My next guest is Mr. Joe Pont. Is that right? Did I say that correctly?
That's correct.
Good.
Yes.
And he is the warden of the detention center. I don't know why sometimes I always get that confused. There is a difference. So what is a detention center?
Right. The difference between a detention center and a prison is basically we're here just to hold detainees while they're awaiting their legal processes, so awaiting adjudication of their charges. So you may have people come to the detention center, be held for a while, go to court, and get released. They may be found not guilty. Others, if found guilty, will be transferred, and we're a federal detention center, so all of our prisoners have committed federal crimes. Will be going to the Bureau of Prisons somewhere across the country.
So when did this detention center open?
We opened October 1st, took our first prisoner October 1st, and has been filling up ever since.
Oh, and where is it located?
We're at East Mesquite at 2190 East Mesquite Avenue here in Pahrump.
Understand that there's some more information like family facts and things like that about the employees and everything there. You might give me a little idea about how it's staffed.
One of the things we did in the community, my company CCA had promised to hire as many locally as we possibly could. Initially, out of our 234 positions, we ended up hiring about 48% of our staff locally from Pahrump, which I thought was very good, because a lot of our staff transferred in from other CCA facilities, which was important to have experienced correctional staff in this environment. Since then, we've looked at the people who transferred in, 78% of our staff currently live in Pahrump.
Wow.
So a large number, even those that transferred, set up home here. And we looked at the economic impact of that, and about, on average, they're spending about $21,000 a year locally for all their families that live in Pahrump. So I think we've made a reasonably good effort to hire locally, and I think it's helped the town of Pahrump economically.
That is so good. And understand you pay something about $810,000 per year in property taxes and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and all of the other things, sewer, water, electricity, all issues that we pay to the agencies.
That's good. Now, I understand you might give me a little background on yourself about where are you from, what did you do, and what made you come out here to the desert in Pahrump?
I started in corrections in 1969 with the Massachusetts Department of Corrections. Retired from there in 91, took several jobs across the country, ended up with CCA in 2006, and worked in Florida. Figured Florida would be my last job, kind of work until the warmer climate. Right. And ended up that contract was canceled, and so I ended up in Mississippi for a little bit, and Arizona, and then out here. So I was kind of making my way west for the last couple of years.
Making your way west to the desert where it's nice and warm.
Nice and warm, yes sir.
What made you, say, get into I should say the detention kind of a thing? It's almost like I'm thinking about enforcement kinds of thing, because I was a policeman myself.
Right. Just getting out of the service, looking for a job. Just had friends that were working in corrections, and back then it was not a pay thing. It was more job security. It had good benefits, good time off. The pay was low, but it had good job security. That's kind of what attracted me. I had a family at the time, and looking for a steady job.
Well, you don't definitely look old enough to be retired, so this is what I'm saying. You said I retired from this and that. I mean, and you're still at it. So my thought has always been that, hey folks, don't retire, always find something to do. find something to do always. Now, what do you like about this job, and what do you like about the Pahrump area here?
Well, the job is very challenging. It's one of those things that the day's different things are different every day. The challenges are different every day. In the warden's position, I'm responsible for everything from who's hired, who's fired, inmates, behavior, inmate discipline, food service, medical service, transportation. So it's a challenging position that has really diversified responsibilities that makes every day, a challenge. And I've been doing it a long time, and it's still a challenge. So.
When you talk about the different challenges, do you have any problems, too much with inmates there? Not much of a problem?
Not really. Most of your inmates are there. They understand that, we didn't arrest them, we didn't incarcerate them. That's done by the law enforcement authorities. The judge, the judicial system will do the adjudication of the charges. We're just there to hold them. We're trying to do that in a very safe, humane way while they go through the criminal justice process. So, like out in society as a whole, you run into some inmates that, don't want to go with the system, but that's pretty small number overall.
You have a medical staff there also?
Yes, we have approximately 30 plus medical staff. We have a doctor full-time, dentist full-time, and the rest are made up with RNs and LPN nursing staff.
Now, I know you're way out on Mesquite. It's almost like like a city like there, isn't it? I mean, I'm thinking that with everything that you have, it's necessary to carry on what it is that you do there.
Right.
Okay, so I guess another question I'd like to ask is, when the inmates leave there, are they transferred to, say, maybe if they have to go to a prison, are they transferred from there to a prison if they have to go?
Yeah, they'll leave in one or two ways. They'll either be bused if it's local, meaning if it's California or regionally, if the Bureau of Prisons, or they'll be flown. They'll actually be flown out of the Las Vegas airport. So they'll go out several times a week to flights that go across the country. So they'll be dropped off in several points and then be transported to the facilities wherever their final destination is.
Where do most of your inmates come from? Or is that you have a
pretty much in the in the southwestern part of the country? Most of them are processed, but I mean they could end up anywhere all the way to the East Coast in the Bureau of Prisons facility. But their arrests and their adjudications is pretty much regional, and then they'll come to us to get transported wherever their final destination is going to be.
Yeah. Do you find any of the inmates coming from Las Vegas?
We have slightly over 300 prisoners from the Las Vegas Marshal's office. So it's not Las Vegas specific, but from that area.
I always thought, I was thinking that because of the sheriff department in Las Vegas, that they had enough facilities there to cover, the needs. But I guess evidently, they don't. I guess, and I'm looking, over the system with all the sheriff's deputies and all the policemen they have there, Vegas and North Las Vegas, that they would have enough facilities to cover, the problems that they may have with detainees.
They were getting to the point of being overcrowded, and that's probably one of the reasons the government issued this RFP and that the facility was built here. So it was timely in the sense of having jail space available for the federal government because the local sheriff's department in Las Vegas couldn't handle the load, or was getting to the point where they couldn't handle the load.
Do you think that this facility will be enough, or do you think you might have to eventually expand?
Well, there are expansion plans in the original drawings and expanding another 500 beds. That's already in the planning process. There are no plans as of today to do any expansion. In fact, our capacity is 1,000. We have not reached 1,000 yet, so it's still have space to grow.
Oh, very good.
Without doing anything.
Oh, that's very good. Is there anything you'd like to leave with the folks here in Pahrump?
No, I've enjoyed. I've been here since April. My family and I moved here. We enjoy the community. My role is to make sure our facility and CCA are good neighbors, that we want to have an open environment. We'll do regular community meetings and have community educational sessions at the facility, and pretty much want to be a partnership with the community and offer a good service for the government and jobs for local people.
Very good. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in, giving us that information here. And take care, folks, and we'll be back after these messages.
Welcome back to Young at Heart. My next guest, or I should say my first guest, our next guest on Young at Heart, is Angela from Lee Funeral Home. How are you doing today?
I am great, thank you.
That's good to know. You're feeling good, you feel healthy, you doing
yes,
good?
Yes, although in my case, I'm covered should anything bad happen.
Oh, and that might be something we'll be talking about. Now, I know this is such a, it seems to be such a morbid subject sometimes, or a so serious subject about funeral homes and what do you do with loved ones and the whole planning and everything. But literally, I think you can put a little twist of humor on it, because it's like planning any kind of party or event in your life. You should be well prepared.
Absolutely.
Let's say it that way. Well prepared and ready for any obstacle or instance come along your way. I don't know how else better to put it. And it's like, we were sharing stories. We all have these funny stories when someone that you love passes away, but I think that's part of it. You have to infuse some humor in that.
You do, and it's a wonderful thing. There are so many ways now to remember your loved one, and it can be funny, it can be touching, it can be as traditional as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be the same old thing, and that's where people like myself come in. We can personalize everything specifically to memorialize your loved one.
Right. Now, before we get into specifics about how that can be done, is there a process that, as far as pre-planning, and especially now, because in the long run, I think it would save you aggravation, stress, and probably money too.
It saves you money, it saves you heartache.
Heartache, that's what I meant by that stress and aggravation.
Right,
the heartache.
the important thing to remember is that most funeral costs go up every year. And if you pre-plan, the great thing about doing that is not only do you get to put your wishes down on paper and have things done so that it's personalized for you, but you also lock in today's price. Whether that's a simple cremation or a very traditional funeral in a church or chapel of your choice, it locks in the price, and that saves your family money, which of course saves a heartache later on, because it's very hard to go through the process anyway, but if you're worried about the economics of it, it makes it just a little harder than it needs to be.
Right. I think a lot of people in their wills probably already state that, what they want done when it becomes their time to pass away or whatever. But do they sit down and plan with you too? Like they would come to the funeral home? And
we actually encourage them to plan, because unfortunately in the moment when someone has just died, they don't go digging for the paperwork and go, what did mom want?
Gotcha.
So they can either come to us or we can actually go to them. We'll set up a time and place that's convenient for everyone, and we can go to them and discuss just the basics, or we can just put it all out on paper and get everything done, which is nice for people like me who like to plan all the events down to the moment. Of course, when the actual time comes, we're happy to sit down with the family and just kind of personalize it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
But it's nice if someone knows what mom wanted, and then they can kind of make it, more personal for them.
Not to sound insensitive, but it kind of reminds me of the Geico commercial. It's like build your own plan.
Right.
And and that's there again. You have to infuse a little bit of humor. I was telling Angela my personal story when my mother passed away, and yes, there were moments of tension, because I do remember my father going through that, going, okay, so many people want this and so many people want that. I'm like, well, wait a minute, Dad, what did mom want?
Right.
Don't worry about what everybody else wants. Save yourself the time and aggravation. What can my brother and I do for you to help you get through that? So it wasn't like we really had any pre-planning.
Right. And there's a lot of things that people don't know they think they have to do that we at the funeral home can actually do for you or with you.
There you go.
All the way down to flower arrangements. If there's people that need to be notified, we are more than willing to assist with that.
And see, we knew none of that.
Right.
And to me, that's so important because it's who do you designate? Notify everybody.
Right.
I mean, and obviously, unfortunately, we didn't get across to everybody, and they were just calling up to see how everybody was doing, and the person that was at our house said, well, I'm sorry to inform you. And that's devastating for them.
Right.
So yes, you help us consider to think straight.
Well, and that's something else. In the pre-planning, you can actually go so far as to give us a list to keep on file. You know, there are so many details that we are familiar with and that we help people with every day that you might not be aware of. And I know a lot of people think it's scary, but I'm not scary, I promise. You can come talk to me, and I'm just the nicest person. No, my goal is to help you remember your loved one in the way that you and your family want. And there's a lot of compromises. You know, you said you and your brother and your father. There's so many different personalities in a family, and we want to make sure that each individual person gets to say goodbye in their own way.
Yeah.
And if we're kind of the ones that are coordinating everything for you, it just helps ease the stress on the family.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're going to get to a few of those ideas. I know you have the traditional caskets. You have probably also the urns, and some of these items that you have that I think are so incredible for those that choose to be cremated and remembered. And the funny story I was telling her is I just remember my brother and I answering the front door at my dad's house, and one of the gentlemen from the funeral home hands us a box and said, here's your mother. And we're like, oh my God, what do we do? My father would just freak out if he just were handed a box, and thank goodness my brother and I were there. And we were running all over the house trying to find a place to hide it until we could help him find an urn or whatever he wanted to remember Mom. And I was like, horrible.
And may I point out, I've already talked to Lynn.
This
did not happen here. Okay?
No.
Because there are wonderful ways to keep the ashes of your loved one, to remember your loved one. I think it's a beautiful sign to the outside world to remember. These are what we call keepsake lockets, and they can hold anything from the cremated remains to locks of hair or memorial flowers. And there are some that go on chains around your neck, and then there are some that you can put in different kinds of displays. And yes, you can choose a traditional or non-traditional urn. We have a whole huge selection, but these are a nice sign to outside people who look at this beautiful piece of jewelry, and it gives you an opportunity to say, this is how I remember my mom, and bring up a nice story.
I kind of like the hair, you know, putting a locket of hair in a locket or something like that.
Right.
Excuse me. I got all emotional there.
It touches you.
It just really touches you, and you can do this for loved pets also.
You can, yes.
You know, these are wonderful little ideas, and you have them at your funeral home.
We do. We have a whole huge selection, a catalog of ideas, but the important thing is to remember is that remembering your loved one and saying goodbye should be very personal. And like I said, we can help families. And what I always say when people leave is, I hope not to see you for many, many years.
Absolutely.
I don't want to see you again. But if you need help planning ahead for someone who is already ill, or just because it's good sense to get it all down, or because you want a big party, Lynn, any funeral home is happy to help you with that.
That is, now here, I'm saying it on the air, and you write this down.
I will.
If I am to die in Pahrump, then I want to be cremated. Yeah, you can put me in one of these cutesy little fartsy things, and then let's have a big old, I'm not allowed to say fartsy on TV, I just did. And I just want a big wake. I'm not Irish or anything, but I think that is the best way to remember me. I'll remember the funny stories and
Absolutely.
have a big wake, for goodness sakes. And then whatever you want to do with the ashes is fine by me, you know.
And I can help everyone with all of those things.
And that's probably her best part, is planning the party.
Planning the good times and remembering the good times. That's the most important thing.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Lee Funeral Home, they're located?
We are located at 720 Buell Lane. If you're coming in from Highway 372, Star Nursery's on the corner. We've got a nice billboard that points the way. If you're coming from Wilson Road, it's considered Buell Road.
Right, exactly. And you do have a chapel there too?
Oh, we do have a chapel.
So
Seats about
all in
100.
one. So we appreciate you. And do you have a phone number to give us real quick?
Our phone number is 727-1888.
Very easy to remember, 727-1888. Thank you so much for coming back again, Angela. And I think you've got some wonderful ideas, and I think anybody that is looking for that, go there. We'll be back after these commercial messages. Stay with us.
Tea time with the Scottish delight and hospitality.
Oh, I like that. She could have her own show, Pat. Keep that in mind. Al and I have traveled to the far reaches of Glasgow, Scotland. We're here with Miss Scotty herself, and we're having a Scottish tea party. Did I say that right? Yes, I did. And this is absolutely beautiful, fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you. And Scotty has put all this together, and she's going to teach us something about a Scottish tea party as opposed to an English tea party, and what is served, how it's served, and where it's served. Take it away, Scotty.
Well, first of all, when you get somebody special like you're special, all the best china comes out.
Absolutely, I can see that.
All the best china.
Now, where did this china come from? It's absolutely stunning.
That's I bought that in Scotland, and at the China, there's a big China bazaar in Scotland, and you can buy all your china there. And the differences in Scottish and English is we make everything a little larger, you know. And I mean, even though the English make it very petite and very dainty, our end kind of likes everything big.
I like that idea. I like big. Big is good. And so tell us some of the things that we're going to be enjoying today. And if you'd like, I could pour the tea.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
So tell us a little bit about the sandwiches that we're having today.
The sandwiches are on wheat, and that's gammon and cream cheese spread with a cucumber.
Very nice.
And this is the white bread, which we have salmon and a cucumber on that one.
Oh.
Yeah, cucumber.
I have a question. Why is it that you always take the crust off the bread?
It's more dainty looking.
Some
gotcha. People don't like crust. And one of my aunts, that I remember one time she came down from Inverness, very posh area up there, and I was helping with the sandwiches, and I gave her one with the crust on it, and she says, no crust, no crust. So ever since that I've learned. So then you put sugar and cream in your tea, whatever you wish.
Now,
what would you like?
I like a little cream.
Okay, pass me your cup, please. I have a question.
She's the
little,
hostess.
please.
See,
I am
she's
the
a
hostess.
perfect
Oh,
hostess.
she's the hostess.
Yes,
Not too
perfect
much now,
hostess.
hostess.
And this is the real clotted cream?
No,
that we're
that's
using?
half and half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like some too?
Yes, please.
Now, a question on the tea. I know that what's the traditional tea? The milk or the cream with the sugar?
The cream, well, it's your preference if you like sugar in your tea. I don't do sugar.
I don't either, but I'm going to put a little in.
Yeah, but it's everybody in Scotland almost uses sugar. They forget, you know.
So
they,
the lemon,
don't
where
do
did
sugar
the tea and the lemon
they
come
put
from?
tea in the sugar, more or less.
Where is that a different culture than the tea with the lemon?
Yeah, that came out lately. I think they do that more in England, you know, with the lemon. But we haven't been known to use lemon. And then
That feels so good.
the pastries.
Yes, let's talk about these
Yeah.
beautiful pastries. If you can point them out.
This is called a forfar bridie.
Okay, we've got to show that. Maybe have here. Or you want me to sit? Okay, Our Miss Producer, you need to point to some of these or turn them
push
around.
them over there.
Or turn them around a
want you
little.
covered.
So we can talk about the different types of pasties.
There.
We know where her mind is.
So I don't want to handle them, but here I can use
Yeah.
use a napkin.
Yeah.
So for instance, we've got this delightful.
Forfar.
This is a what?
Forfar bridie.
A forfar
It's very
bridie.
popular in Scotland. Now that's what you would call a petite bridie.
And what's inside our petite bridie?
There's meat inside that,
Oh,
a little meat, and
will you, sir, kind sir, would you like one of those?
I would like to have one of those because there's meat inside.
There we
Yes.
Thank you.
go. We didn't think to bring little tongs to, so we wouldn't be using our fingers, but I did wash my hands. And you
had
also
tongs,
got, what are these delectable little white?
They're called McAdoos.
Oh, McAdoo, so that's got the,
it's a coconut, and
I'll have one of
they're
these.
very good. I didn't make them.
Oh, you didn't?
But we usually have them.
Was there cucumber in there?
yes.
No, I'll just have one
There's
of these.
cucumber in there too, but be careful. And you made some
there
little,
isn't- there isn't
there's some
cucumber
other
in
little
it.
pasties. My goodness
Yeah.
gracious, we're losing
Yeah.
time. I know you got the Scottish shortbread.
Yep.
And we got some delightful, what is
Mincemeat pie,
Mincemeat pies.
pasties, and then the lemon curd tarts,
And then these are the scones,
scones,
with the,
and they have
Scottish
marmalade.
marmalade. Gotta try one
And
of
I
those.
didn't have that I made cream. I don't do a very good job on the cream. English people do a better job on cream than me.
The lemon.
Now,
lemon-
can I
that's
ask you a
lemon
question?
curd.
While we're
That's lemon
enjoying
curd.
our delightful,
Thank
may
you.
I get you something, by the way?
No, I'm fine right now.
So tell us a little of the history behind the Scottish tea. When do you do a Scottish tea when it's served? Thank you.
Okay, what in Scotland?
Too fast.
You're supposed to sip your tea.
I know, I
Sip
did
your
it
tea.
too. Excuse me, I did it too fast. Okay.
In
you.
Scotland, usually they have their main meal at 12 o'clock.
Right.
And that's when all the workmen come out the shipyards.
Mm-hmm.
The horn would blow and they would come home and they would have their main meal, their dinner, their big dinner. And then at 5 o'clock when they come home, you would serve something like bridies and maybe what we call in America French fries. We would have bridies and chips and peas and
Oops, we lost a pastry.
I dropped mine.
and that sort of a thing. And
Are you okay, Al?
I'm watching Pat.
Would you cover your mouth when you eat?
I'm watching Pat. Oh, wait a minute.
That is not what we do
Yep.
at teas. So this is
There.
a traditional, like you said,
This is
late
the-
afternoon, early evening.
Yes.
Now, you do this as a living here in Pahrump, do you not?
No, I don't do it as a living. I do it. I have
do I know?
served little teas. I do like maybe I can do from like 48 people. That would be, the limit
Small.
whenever I would want to do it.
Small parties.
But
Yeah.
people could call you and say, I'd like to have a group of women over and do a tea. Would you
Yes,
do the, so
yes,
you do
I
all the
would.
presentation
Yes,
and the setup
yes.
and
If
a little
this-
bit about
if
the
this
history?
if this was appropriate,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you've got these beautiful Scottish lace
Yes,
tablecloths.
everything's Scottish, even me.
I noticed that you were saying your mother or your grandmother
Yeah, my aunt
not
knit
sewed,
this
but
for
knit
me.
it.
Before when I came to Scotland, and then I got my scarf and hat up in the north of Scotland and made in Scotland, as you can see.
Absolutely.
And
These are incredible. The scones
yeah,
with the marmalade jelly. Oh my, jam, I should say jam, not jelly.
jam. Yeah,
To die for. They are incredibly good.
that is Scottish.
Now you made these?
Yeah, as you can tell.
You said you weren't that good. You're a great cook. What are you talking about? These are wonderful. And I just like
Marmalade is Scottish marmalade.
yes. Now it's so different from here in America where we usually eat our largest meal at dinner, which in a way you consider is the wrong thing to do. When you think about it, you shouldn't be eating a big meal late in the evening.
No.
It's not
Yeah.
good for your digestive system. It's not good for your weight. And this
When
is
I
very
think,
delightful.
yeah, when I think back, we did eat good in Scotland, but it wasn't we didn't think it was good at the time, you know.
Oh.
Because just wasn't. And then you've got the cornbread there, and that's a Dundee. You call that a Dundee cake.
A Dundee cake? Which one's that? The one with the little sugar on top?
Yeah, sultana.
And what's in there?
It's like a fruit cake with nuts and raisins.
Oh, see,
and
my
that.
husband would love that. My husband, you know, his
Yeah.
mom is originally from Scotland. And just some of the stories that she would tell us about the life in Scotland and how they lived. And it was just a lot of fun to learn all these little traditions and be a part of it. And this is so delightful. You also tell us a little about our little brush.
Okay, this is your to brush your crumbs off after you eat. After you eat,
I like that. That's neat.
and yeah,
Not your clothes.
and my mum bought me that when I was 16 years old, and I've always treasured it. I've always treasured it.
It's beautiful. And it looks like it's ivory of some sort.
And so I've had it many, many, many years.
Quit
Many-
doing
Beautiful.
that.
Yeah,
Quit
many
doing
years.
that. Many, many, many years. No, you are definitely one of the young at heart. Let me tell you, she was telling us her schedule, coming up with the Miss Senior pageant and all that she does, plus her little, she teaches the little tiny tots at Donna's Dance Studio, and you're running all over the place. She'll be in Atlantic City babysitting Miss Nevada. So much for you to do here, and I so appreciate you coming out to
Oh, it's my
treat Al and I
pleasure.
to these delectable Scottish delights.
That's right.
And anytime you would like to try and do a Scottish tea party, Scotty is available. Do you have a telephone number that people could call
Yes,
you?
I do. It is 727-0309.
727-0309. Give her a call. It's delightful. And we'll be back. We're going to enjoy our dinner here.
Yes, we are.
Yes, thank you. Welcome back to the show. Well, now after we had that delightful
Delicious.
Scottish, what do you call it? Not dinner, Scottish tea.
Scottish tea.
We figured
with
that we'd have to
scones.
figure out a way to work off some of those calories. So we brought Becca back
That's right.
from what used to be called the Yoga Center. She is reopening the center, and it's going to be called the Namaste
Yoga.
Namaste Yoga.
Namaste yoga.
And I was asking you, Becca, earlier, Namaste, I thought it just meant like thank you or, you know, God be with you, but what does Namaste
Namaste
really
is a Sanskrit term. It's I bow to you, I honor your practice as well as my practice. It's a
Which
way to
says
say
a
thank
lot.
you.
If you've ever taken yoga, trust me, you want to bow to your practice as well as your sensei's practice. Because some of the yoga poses, I think people don't understand. It's a workout. It can be a workout.
It's a major workout.
Yes, and it can be done gently too. So it's for all age groups. I think we
All
discussed
age
that.
groups. I have anywhere from a 6-month-old baby for the mommy and me yoga, as well as older adults. It's amazing. the
Even
people
someone
that-
like
Why
Housing.
are you
But of
pointing at me
course.
for? You're pointing at me for older adults.
older
Gee,
adults.
thanks.
Well, that's what you are. You're a mature older adult.
That's
Very
true.
mature.
I am.
You are mature, right?
I am a senior.
A what senior?
Senior.
There you go. Not that old.
Mr. Senior.
You'd be
He's a Mr.
surprised.
Senior,
You'd
but-
be surprised how old I am.
I can imagine we're not.
I'm
going
almost
there.
up there where I have to wear a cane here.
I don't know, no, and that, you know why?
Why?
Because Becca's going to show us some things to do,
Ah.
so maybe that'll
Yes.
lay off the cane for a few years, even
Okay.
longer.
What's the
'Cause
first
I think
one?
that's the whole point of what we're discussing today. Is let's strengthen the body and the mind,
I need
so
that.
that
So
we
do I.
do stay healthy, right?
Yeah, I need the mind.
Now you
Extremely
were saying
healthy.
there are actually some chair yoga things
Yes.
that you can
Chair
be doing.
yoga is very popular. You can do it at work, at home, in bed. Even though it's not chair yoga in bed, but the poses
Bed
are very
yoga.
similar.
Oh, I bet your husband would like that one. Honey, let's do some bed yoga.
Well, if I had a husband, he would. But anyway.
I was thinking about me.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, you know how that is. It's something new.
I'm sorry.
No, okay, so let's get started then.
An easy one is your butt, the back side, the lower back is against the back of the chair, and you're sitting up straight, and your shoulders are back. Okay. Then you take your right ankle, place it just above the left knee.
Now,
so
for
the
those
leg
of
is
you,
straight.
it might not be easy for some people to do this, so you just do it at whatever level. Do you do it, or does it have to be all the way down, or can you work to that level?
You can work to the level, and that's what they call ujjayi breath. It's the breathing process, deep inhalations, exhalations, that create internal energy in the body and the organs
All right.
to help you achieve the pose. Sit up, honey, sit up.
Got to sit up straight out.
I'm trying.
It's hard to do both things at once.
So you place the right palm gently on the side of that right knee. Mm-hmm. Okay. The opposite palm on the side of the foot. And then you lean slightly forward.
Just to as far as your body allows you.
As far as your body allows.
But you want to
And
keep
you
your
breathe.
back straight.
Your back is completely straight.
So you don't want to like lean in, right? You want to keep the back straight.
You want to
chest
keep
open.
the back straight, chest open, but if
can't
you
go
can
that
connect
far
the
yet.
chest to the leg, then you
You
drop
gotta be
it.
kidding.
You know, I used to be able to do this all the way to the ground. I used to do this on the ground. It's so sad. How are you doing over there, Al?
Breathe. Breathe.
Al, you got to remember to breathe.
I can't.
Becca, how long do you
Listen.
normally stay in a position?
If you can hold it for 3 minutes, it's the ideal.
And then you come up the same way as you
Come
go
up
down?
the same way,
So
very
with
slowly.
a straight back.
You gotta
And
push
then
me
you would
forward a
release
little
and
more.
reverse.
No, the last thing we want to do is push you into that position. We want, and don't bounce.
Don't
Bouncing's
bounce.
bad.
Never bounce.
Oh, okay.
You breathe into the pose.
And the whole idea, Al, I think Becca would tell you, is if you even just got that far the first time, that's a start.
Yes.
Oh, I feel good already.
Because you know why? Every time you practice,
Yeah.
Now,
you can go further.
You told me earlier that you practiced yoga through the years.
I have practiced
Yes.
yoga. I got away from it though.
Obviously.
Yeah, it did. No, we may have to help
ahead.
her.
How do I get out of this?
Very gently. Very gently.
Maybe another smart thing to do if you're doing this at home, don't do it alone. First,
Please don't.
have a partner so that if you get in this position, and it's not funny, but it is. I mean, you do have somebody that can help you. I mean,
Yes, I
because
don't
we
have
don't want
anybody
you
home to help
hurting
me.
yourself. The whole point is to help. I feel like I'm taking over the Becca
No,
show
no,
here.
it's
I'm
okay, it's
sorry.
okay.
Okay, next.
Everything you do
The
is
other leg?
equal to both sides.
Equal. And you know, the thing is, this is my bad knee. This is where I had the meniscus repair. And so I find myself really babying this.
Better on this side.
Yeah, this side is better.
So
look.
it's like
Sometimes
weird.
if you withhold in what your body can do, it actually makes the injury worse.
Is that it? Okay.
If you have knee issues, especially with bending poses, always keep the foot flexed.
Okay.
It helps protect around the knee.
Super. That's a good thing
And
to
then
know
lean
because
into it
I
again.
really would like to get this working much better. And I feel my whole body going to this side to compensate for it, and I shouldn't.
I
do
can
it,
go
right?
forward with this one better, see?
Everybody has a good and a bad
yes.
side.
Everybody's more flexible on one than the other.
Look at this. I'm so proud of myself. Stop
Since
laughing,
we've only
Lynn.
got about 4 more minutes, I think we're not going to count for the whole 3 in this one pose. You okay? Hey, so Becca, how's your life going?
It's going pretty good,
So you
thank
can even hold a whole conversation while you're down here, and that would help with the breathing.
Oh, it's very good for breathing.
Another reason why you should have a partner while you do these
Yes.
chair yoga thing is so you can breathe by talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So see, there is a good thing about. Oh, we got 4 minutes now.
We can do one standing because our
You know, I want to see some more
our,
sitting first.
yeah, our cameraman.
Okay, one more sitting.
Yeah, let's
You want
do
to do one
another
more sitting? Then
Yes,
we'll
okay.
stand. Okay.
All right.
You know, some
again.
people have to sit for a while.
Yeah,
so it's
office individuals, even in your line of work, there's a lot of sitting
Right.
involved.
Yeah.
You need to have that flexibility. It's good for the mind and the body.
So from now on, at the beginning of the show, if you see me disappear under the table, you know why.
Thank you for clarifying that.
This is a comedy show, folks. Comedy.
All right, next. She's one of us.
Bring
now.
up the right knee.
Now I can definitely do
Place the
this.
foot as close to the chair as possible or on
Now,
the chair.
you know, it's amazing. Becca's doing this in heels. This is what's so amazing.
And then hug the knee towards you.
Hug the knee.
Hug your knee.
Hug.
The
hug,
knee is your friend.
And breathe.
Keep breathing. Can you hug it? Out.
What are we working?
I'm trying to figure.
Right now you're working the hamstrings.
Okay.
You're also working the hip flexors.
Okay.
Oh,
And you're also working the liver.
Wow. Liver, hip flexors, and what was the-
Hamstrings.
Hamstrings. Very important parts of the body, too.
And again,
Keep flexible.
always equal both sides.
Always equal, both sides. Oh, this is actually keeping me warm. It's kind of cool in our studio today, if you hadn't
I'm
noticed.
warm now, I tell you.
And that's where the breathing comes in handy because it creates
Yes.
the internal heat for the body.
It does.
The more
It
you
does.
internally are warm, less chance of injury.
Super. All right. Al,
Okay,
looks like
come on,
you're
Al,
in
come on,
pain.
come on.
Okay.
It's all right, honey. It shouldn't be
All right.
rocket science.
Shall we try to stand up?
We'll stand up
Now,
now.
is there a certain way to stand up?
When you stand up, you're always using your legs.
Especially like the
You ready?
tops of your thighs?
One,
You
two.
relax the muscles on the inner thigh.
Relax.
The knees are relaxed.
Protect the
Lean
knees.
forward.
1, 2, 3.
And you lift up.
But you kind of want to use the muscles
In the
here and
legs.
your buttocks too, don't you?
Yes.
To take that off the knees.
Exactly.
I know some of this stuff. Hey, it is delayed. You're right. Every movement you make, it's delayed when you're looking on the screen over there.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Okay, now what?
All right. Feet are together.
Feet are together.
Big toes are touching as much as you can, even
Okay.
though with your shoes. I know you can't, but that's okay. With a flat back, take a deep inhalation through the nose, expanding the chest and the lungs. And as you exhale, bend forward.
Are you bending the knees or just
No, the
going
knees are
forward?
straight, but the legs are straight, but the knees are soft.
We're giving a little burlesque show here, you know.
That feels good.
Reach
Yeah.
as far as you can.
Ugh.
You're bending from the waist, from here. Right from
Going
here.
down.
Breathe.
Breathe
Deep
out.
inhalation,
Breathe
deep
out.
exhalation.
I'm breathing.
The more you breathe, the more you reach.
I'm reaching.
Good.
I'm breathing. You
How's
got
my hair look?
it. Almost.
You know, I have
you
to
okay?
tell you, I have to
course,
tell you,
yeah.
just slowly doing these exercises.
Bend the knees a little bit.
You are
and
really
release
warming
upright.
up here in the studio. Believe it or not, you can feel the internal warmth and everything. Cancel the propane. It will be spring by the time it gets here anyway. No, I shouldn't say.
I'll just come to the studio and do yoga with you every morning.
Every morning we'll
There
do
you go.
yoga.
That is beautiful.
What else can we do? We've got like about 30 seconds.
We can do an arm and shoulder exercise.
Let's do that
Okay.
as we go out. That would be wonderful. So tell us what we're doing.
Cross the right arm over the left.
And just to let you know, guys, that Becca's going to be reopening her studio where it was located before by the International Bank.
It's going to be a different location, more centralized.
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought I heard you say it was the same. I'm sorry.
That's
Where
okay.
is it going to be?
Namaste Yoga right now on Basin,
Basin.
behind Anytime Fitness. And of course, again, the Yoga Lattes is free for Anytime Fitness members.
Okay, let's go out with the.
And bend, palms together. Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, that was quite a fun, interesting show today, I think. Don't you
Yeah,
think,
it
Al?
was very interesting, and
was.
I'm trying to put my foot and everything there. I guess I'm gonna have to practice a little more. I thought it was more lumbar than that.
Well, that's the whole thing. Practice makes perfect. And when it comes to yoga, you do everything slow. So you're not
Oh.
ever going to hurt yourself as long as you don't do this bouncy.
Oh, don't do the bouncing thing.
don't
Well,
do the
I found
bouncing.
out that one leg I could put over versus the other. I wonder why that is.
I saw that.
is
Because
my body
it's
crooked?
like that left-right side.
Yeah.
One side always works better than the other.
But I thought I was even. You
No.
know, the body was even. No,
You're not. Nobody is.
No.
nobody's even.
Not even you, Al. I'm sorry. I know you like to think you are, but
In all these years, I never knew that.
you're cute
Oh,
and you're adorable and you got a great personality, but
oh my goodness!
you're not even.
Shucks.
Anyway, but I just love it. I love it that, we had a show where, we could talk about what to do when we die.
Right.
Eat. We got to eat. We got to eat. And we got to work out. And it's almost like the movie Eat, Pray, and Love,
Right.
And go to jail.
And go to jail. No, don't go to jail.
Yay.
But very interesting. And if
Right.
anybody's interested, every Tuesday on their website at the detention center, they do have what's available job-wise.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
you
know
might
that.
want to check out their site, even though I don't know what it is. It's something CC,
something.
whatever. What's the name of it?
Call them and ask.
Call them and ask them.
Well, it's kind of hard to call them if you can't remember what is the full name of our
Phone
detention?
number over there is.
We don't have it.
I don't have their phone
Well,
number.
we'll find it out for you. Forget we even said that. Cut it. Start over. Next week we have a great show for you too. No, it's actually Florenza.
Yeah.
But we call her Flo. Provenza is going to be back. Oh, that's Florenza Provenza.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds good.
She'll be back and we'll be talking about some great stuff, I'm sure. We have Mira Gas Company and they're going to be talking about propane. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I'm going to say gas.
Yeah.
And we have an authoress, Eva Zelwisky.
I was going to wonder if you
And
could
her-
pronounce that.
Yeah, I do it phonetically. I spell
Oh, okay.
it Zelwisky, and her book is called Queen of the Night. Interesting
that
to
sounds
see what
good.
that's going to be about.
Yeah.
Very
Ooh.
interesting. And of course, we'll have Eddie from the digital Digital Hearing Center.
Yes.
That's kind of how I
Well,
tell the news. You know, I'm always forever saying bureau for burros and burros for bureau. That's why
Don't
they
feel
don't have me
bad.
doing the news anymore, I think, because I'm terrible. No. Anyway, we have had such a great show. Don't forget that Empowering Women's Conference at Pahrump Nugget. That's January 22nd. We'll be back. We love you. Have a great day. Bye.
Join Lynn and Now next week for another entertaining and informative hour of Young at Heart. Have a good day.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart.